My nails are all gone. I can't be trusted with nails. I'm like a baby. I need those little mitts you put on hands so those babies don't scratch themselves. I need one for like big hands. gouged a, gouged a piece of my face out. That wasn't very nice of myself. Hello, you beautiful people! David here, or Sin City Yeti, or just Yeti, whichever you prefer. And today I got a special video for you. I thought the choreography would go a little bit further than that, but my brain said no. You get that. So in this video, I'm doing something similar but different. And I think it could be fun, and maybe it could evolve into something bigger. So you may not recognize these, or you might recognize them. Either way, these are from a buddy of mine, HoopsandHipHop. He's starting his own game.
Hello everyone, I am creating an original monster catching video game of my very own, which I hope to turn into its own fully fledged series, both for my YouTube channel and potentially beyond that. The name of this game is Histrobea Chronicles, and it looks to introduce an entirely new world for you to immerse yourselves in as viewers, and eventually as players. This is a map of the setting of Histrobea Chronicles. It depicts a province known as Westild, and Westild is brimming with just about every kind of locale you can think of, from mountains to forests to deserts to big cities to small towns. Westild is a beautifully expansive place that is just waiting to be explored, and explore you will be able to do, because Histrobea Chronicles is also an open world game. Right from the outset, you will be able to decide where you want to go and when, as you progress on your adventure to obtain one of every known Histrobea species and find the mythical Fokachi.
And he has a preview set out. Now, I got some packs of cards, and I think it would be fun to let the cards pick what I'm gonna paint. If you don't know who HoopsandHipHop is, he's a PokeTuber on here. Kind of covers a lot of the lore of Pokemon, a lot of cut content, a lot of like speculative Pokemon, things that the Pokédex hint at existing but aren't actually in the Pokédex yet, or they're not catchable yet. And I've been watching him for years. Actually, he started doing music remixes, and that's how I discovered him. And then I've just kind of stuck with him ever since. The very first YouTuber I've ever subscribed to. That's some Sin City Yeti lore. Anyway, so yeah, I have been watching HoopsandHipHop since like 2012, 2011, 2012, somewhere around there. I've watched, I think, 90% of his videos, and I've been following along his new project, and I really like it, and I want to support it. I think it would be a lot of fun since I got some packs of cards, I got a paintbrush, I got some canvases, I got some paints. I can paint a picture, and I think I'm gonna do a high detail one. I should have enough time. So yeah, let's go for it. So enough of my face, let's go see what I create.
Wow, look at this setup. It's very nice. Got it all set up for Hoops painting. Got the packs of cards. Got a painting where he picked the Pokemon for. Got the painting that's featuring his favorite Pokemon, Cyndaquil. Of course, we got the Fokachi and the blank canvas. So here's the canvas, and as you can see, I got all of the little stuff to represent Hoops out. I got Fokachi's card, the painting that he picked out all the Pokemon for, and of course, the packs of cards are the most important thing. And we are going to let a random number generator decide which pack we're going to open up first. And I'm not going to open up all the packs, just a couple, but we're going to get this one open up, and Shrubberoos. Okay, so we got Shrubberoos as the first one, and okay, so there's no other Histrobea, so we're gonna use Shrubberoos. And now we're gonna open up the next pack, and we're gonna get Shrubberoos. Well, I don't want to open up all the packs yet, so I'm just gonna stick with these two, and I'm gonna kind of go through the cards to kind of get a feel for what I might want to paint, what I can use as inspiration for other elements in there. And I got a couple of Hoops Histrobea in mind that I can use to add to this. So like, this is his whole map. It's based off of Utah. And of course, like, We got Shrubberush's Final Evolution, Elderoos, and I got an idea. I think I know what I'm gonna go for. We're gonna go for like a foresty, Wild West landscape. So I'm gonna sketch out everything onto the canvas, pulling up my different references. So the landscape, I'm pulling inspiration from Mount Timpanogos in Utah, as well as Puffer Lake, Utah, which is outside of Beaver Valley. Both places I've been to a bunch of times. Very beautiful places, very different landscapes, but I think I can smash them together. Might even pull in some ideas from like the St. George area, and you know, just kind of incorporate all of Utah into this one painting for the landscape. I got all of his different Histrobea down. I think this is gonna set for a beautiful scene. I'm gonna have some fun with it. It's been a little while since I've done a high detail painting, and it's time for a high detail painting. Starting with the furthest thing away, which is the sky, and I'm getting the sky all laid out. I want to go for like this sunsetty vibe, working in the clouds and everything. They're of course the hardest things to work on for me. I struggle with them, but I think I'm doing a pretty decent job with the clouds here. They've got some good dimension, good texture. I like the way they're looking. Now we're gonna go on to the mountains. So the mountains, I'm basing it off of Mount Timpanogos, the basic shape, as well as some of the mountains outside of Beaver. So I'm kind of like combining the shapes of those, but I'm gonna do them in this sandstone pattern. I like the way the sandstone looks down in St. George and that area, or up in like Bryce Canyon, like you got the forest meeting the sandstone. I kind of want to pull some elements from that. That just feels like Utah to me. I've been there so many times. It was almost like a second home for a while, but it just feels like Utah. So that's what I'm going for with this. And so I'm getting down all of the ground first, just to kind of like map everything out. There goes my hand again, doing its own thing. Whatever, hand. You go, hand. It's gonna get a little bit crazy in this video. Not to give any spoilers or anything, but I have already seen this video, so I made it. Anyway, back to the painting. So I'm adding in all of the details for the landscape, and I know like I get asked these kinds of questions a lot when I'm painting. They're just like, you're painting so much detail and then you just kind of cover it up.
But why? Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
Yeah, because I don't know exactly where I'm gonna stick everything. I go for like feels and vibes. So I just wanna like make sure everything looks good. Plus, now that you're watching the video while I'm painting it, you also know it's there. Like you're gonna get to see this whole world behind what ends up getting covered by the end. And I think it's kind of cool for the process. I love the visualization as I'm going through all the steps of bringing a landscape to life. You're gonna have to let me know what you think of it, but I really like it.
Yeah, no, it sounds really cool.
I went, of course, with some like lighter hues in the furthest background, and I'm darkening it as I come forward, just to kind of add that dimension so you know like what's in front of what, and there's no question about what's in front of what. Huh? Just like pro tip for when you're doing any kind of artwork where there's perspective. You want the lightest things in the back, darkest things in the front. If you ever look out into the horizon, you'll see like everything kind of shifts towards that sky color and is lighter the further away you get. Now that we got all of this basic rock stuff done, I'm adding in the shoreline just so like I know where the shoreline is at. Of course, like any kind of sandstone, if you've ever seen them with rain and anything like that, it's gonna kind of wear away at it, and you're gonna get like these little piles of dirt and just different areas where the rainwater runs down. So I'm kind of adding that in, using my own knowledge to kind of make it as realistic as I possibly can. That's just the way I go. And I know it's a lot of extra work, but it brings the painting to life in a way that I really like, and I hope that you also like. So yeah, that's what I'm doing here. That's why like you saw all these oranges I put in, and you saw all the detail, and now I'm kind of covering it up because I'm creating ledges and just different areas where I can put plant life.
It's just me and my plants. I'm in the garden.
And of course, I'm adding in like the final touches because it's not just straight brown. No, like rocky ground is just one color. It's a variety of different colors. And so I got to add all that in just to make sure it looks, you know, natural. It feels right. And now, speaking of it looking natural and feeling right, I think it's time I can get started on this forest. At this point, I am about 20 hours into the painting. Yeah, this painting took some hours. I don't know the exact number, so don't quote me on that.
But don't quote me on that.
It's somewhere between 15 and 20 hours. I was about like 4 days in on this painting. And yeah, the plant life is the next thing that's gonna take up like the next huge chunk of time. So going in with these tiny, tiny pine trees all over the place. I want it to look lush. I don't want it to look like it's been curated. I want it to look natural. So I'm just kind of like going off of what feels right for the painting. I feel like that's what's gonna help the painting feel the most natural. Just going in and going, that feels right, that feels right, that feels right. So we're gonna like zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see like all the little touch-ups I'm doing with these trees. So the further stuff away, I'm doing 3 main hues. So I have the low light, a mid-tone, and the highlight. And of course, the low light is the lightest dark hue I'm using. And then as I move forward, I increase it. So now that I'm in the middle area, I'm going in with 1 extra hue of each. So now there's 6 separate colors I'm using on the trees. I'm going in with like the mid low light and the lightest low light, 2 midtones, 2 highlights. And this is what's gonna add a lot of dimension to these trees, make them feel so alive. It does take a lot of time.
Oh man, that's like the best part.
But I definitely think it's worth the payoff. I love the way it looks. When I'm in the process of painting, I get into this zone and I just let it all out. I forget everything that's going on around me. There's no stress in the world, in the moment. I'm just existing as I am, an artist, creating. And yeah, I kind of like this way of de-stressing and decompressing from any kind of stressful day, because we all have them. This is just my way that I kind of zone out. And then of course you can see, like, as I'm coming up closer with all these trees, I'm making them bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm just kind of gradually increasing their size. So like you have the smallest trees in the back, they're probably like half the size of my pinky nail. Then as you come a little bit closer, they're about the size of my index nail. And then when you get closer to that, they're like the size of half my index finger in length. So just have a steady increase as you get closer to like where the viewer is supposed to be standing in this painting. Now that I got like the basic gist of where the pine trees are going, I wanted to add in some more aspens. Aspens are all over the place in Utah.
Look at this. This is an aspen. You can tell that it's an aspen tree because of the way it is. Wow.
They're all over Puffer Lake, so I of course had to add the aspen trees. I didn't want to just do green. I felt like there was going to be a lot of green already in this painting, so I wanted to break it up, and I went with their fall colors. I love the golden yellows of the aspen trees, and you know, it's not a real place, so it doesn't matter if it's not fall. I can add in the golden aspens if I want to. And I'm just gonna kind of like map out where things are gonna go, the basic gist of them. So I'm putting in like the little matchsticks all over the place where I'm kind of like seeing them and feeling them, and you can see like they've got totally had an ADHD moment there. Yeah, way to go, David. Welcome back to Earth. Anyways, I totally like just got lost in the zone without like paying attention to my plan. So I start putting in the aspen trees. Now, I already did the aspens in the very far back, but I haven't finished the pine trees in the mid-ground. So now we're gonna go back into the pine trees, and this is where I'm gonna add in like the second color of the shadows, and I'm gonna be going in with more mid-tones, highlights, just to kind of bring them to life, because right now they're kind of looking charred. Like, you know, if a forest fire had gone through, they're looking a little burnt and crispy. They're not looking alive. I don't want sickly looking pine trees in my painting.
Now, I'm not no tree doctor. I didn't go to tree college. I'm not an orbologist. Something's wrong with that tree right there.
I gotta fix this. I need to bring them to life and fill them out a little bit. Give them some color. So that's what I'm doing. I got all of their lowlights put in, got the midtones added in, and now I'm starting to add in some of the highlights, going in with like just different shades of greens and letting the shadows peek through. I swear I've already gone through puberty.
You sure about that?
I'm just covering it enough to let the shadows kind of peek through. Just so you know there's shadows there. There's dimension to these trees, and they're looking alive. They're looking healthy. I'm loving the way they're coming to life in front of my eyes, and going in with those highlights, and you can kind of see where the sun is in the sky now, and each of the trees like look more vibrant. They look green. Even though I went in with like these blues for the shadows, now they're really looking alive because I went with blue for the shadow. I went with yellow for the highlights. Of course, you know, they're gonna play tricks on your eyes, and it's just gonna make everything look a little bit more green without needing to use red, because that's gonna kind of muddy it. I've already got a lot of red in the sandstone. I don't want to muddy the colors. I want them looking alive. And now the pine trees are done. Look at that. They're fantastic. Now I can go back in and finish these aspens, and literally I am throwing them everywhere, all over the place. I'm gonna get all of these mid-ground aspens added in. And so with the aspens, I am doing something a little bit different. All of my purple is up in the sky, so I'm not too worried about muddying up the yellow by adding in purple, but that's gonna be my color for the shadows, because yellow leaves don't get super dark when they're in shadows. They're still kind of light. So I wanted to go in with this like super pale lavender color. That's my shadow. And then I'm kind of layering on top of it. I've added some of that lavender purple to an orange hue. I brightened up that orange a little bit, and that's gonna be like my other shadow. I went in with adding in some yellow to it. That's my mid-tone. Now that I got my two mid-tones, I got my two shadows put in. I'm going in with my highlights, went in with a brighter yellow, and then I went in with a super pale yellow for the brightest of the highlights in the furthest back. It completely changes them. Once all of these colors get added in, it's bringing them to life. They're also showing where the sun is in the sky now. Even though I don't have any harsh shadows, you could just kind of see the sun is off to the left of the painting. Up in the sky during this sunset, it's capturing the mood so well. And now I'm going in with more plants. More. There's lots of different flora in a forest, so I want to add a variety. I want to keep it interesting. I want your eyes to kind of like really look around and just see all the different things in this world. As you're watching it come to life, you just know like this is what's in the background. All this light in this painting is in the background because a lot of it's getting covered. You can see like even with the plant life I'm adding in right now, I'm covering up parts of the trees. I'm covering up parts of that sandstone, but it's just peeking through. You can see it. The hint is there. I don't have to worry about like not going in with my outline. I like just going with the flow because it all feels as one cohesive unit, whereas if I try to paint around stuff, I kind of don't line things up as well. It's just not the way I like to paint. It's just not as fun. This, I think, is kind of fun. I know what the world underneath looks like. Under each layer I'm adding in, it's just its own unique thing. I could take a picture right here and I would be happy with it. It looks alive, but it's gonna get even brighter here. I'm also adding in some of the colors that I'm using into the background just to kind of like really tie everything together. I want it to all look like the same place. And I'm doing this on different days. So like when I come back to something, I'm not quite in the exact same mindset that I was before. I might use a new color and realize, oh, I didn't use this color in the background and it's not anywhere. So I kind of like, you know, just add it in different spots in the background, keeps everything looking cohesive. It's starting to kind of feel like a corn cob. Like, is this how corn feels? Going back and forth, back and forth. Anyways, I'm adding in new plants. It's not just like that ivy plant that I'm adding in, but I'm adding in grasses. I'm adding in other leafy flowers, going in with some purples on these little tiny flowers. More visual interest, keeping this looking interesting. There's just so much to look at, and it's making it feel so vibrant because no matter where you look in a forest, you're gonna see a whole bunch of different plants. So I want that in the painting, and I want the depth to be there. So I went in with like these little purple flowers, went in with these little red flowers. Now I'm going in with these little white flowers, touching all of them up. And it's just, no, now I'm going in with the red flowers, not the white ones. I already finished the white ones. I'm silly.
I'm sorry I acted so silly.
And I'm really like, I'm loving this. It looks nice. Like this is a place I would totally go eat a picnic at. Going on to the water because I'm going in the layers. So now that I got like this mid-ground done, now it's time to come a little bit more forward, and I needed to get the water done. I struggle with water. Every time I don't do the water immediately, or I have to make changes to the water, I end up not liking it. So I was really apprehensive about starting the water there, but I think it came together. It's just like the impression of the landscape in the water. It's not super detailed, and I didn't want to do it super detailed because I wanted the water to still look like it's moving. I like this. I can live with this. I know most of the time I don't really like the water when I make it, but this time I'm okay with it. It looks like water. That's about all I could ask for in a forest when it comes to water. Yeah. Now it's time to move a little bit more forward. And I'm doing things a little bit out of order here just because I kind of want to map out where I'm going to be putting plants. So I kind of add in some grass first just to kind of like represent where I'm putting in different plants. And I'm adding in the elements you saw from my sketch. So I had this idea of an aspen wood man-made fence. So I wanted to add that, placing out where the trees are going. And I'm not going to lie with you, I was struggling a little bit of where I was going to place these trees because I knew I was going to end up covering up a lot of this background that I just put in. But again, like that's part of the fun of this painting process.
So much much fun. I don't want to stop. Yeah, it's like popping bubble wrap.
I know it's there. You watching the video, you know it's there. It's part of this world. Doesn't matter if I cover it up, because like when you take a picture, the background is still there, even if you can't see it, because like a tree or something is covering it up. So I just kind of like trusted the process, knew it was gonna end up looking good. That's all I needed to worry about, is it's gonna look good. And of course, since like these aspen trees are a little bit closer, I got to add in more of the details of the aspens, you know, the bark, the wood color. It's not all just like this grayish white. There's texture to it. There's little nodules. I want to add in all of that. And I got to do the same thing with the pine tree. And I'm kind of mapping out now where the bristles for the pine tree are going to be. Just trusting the process, knowing I'm going to be covering it up, but parts of it's going to be peeking through the branches. Now, if you saw that last video I posted with the spathra, yeah, this is where I realized I'm not gonna finish this on time for the video, and I needed to get another painting done, and it's really like slowing me down. Like, this is a painting. I know some of you guys have seen it. I'm supposed to be working on this one. I haven't been in the right headspace, but you know, it takes time. Like I'm trying to stay on top of my projects. It's just, there's so much, so many moving parts. So that was when I decided I was gonna do the Espathra painting, put this painting off to the side. Yeah, anyways, short story long, we're gonna get back into painting. Now that I'm back in this groove, I am resolved to finishing this painting, and my mind is just kind of like focusing on this, and my left hand feels so left out because my right hand is doing all of the work. So now I'm getting started with the aspens. So I kind of already got like the first shadowy layer laid for the pine tree. I'm doing the same with the aspens. Again, I'm gonna be going in with purple, but I'm gonna be going in with a little bit of a darker purple, bringing that forward, added orange, and doing the mid-tone now with the oranges. I'm gonna be going in with like a whole extra set of colors again. So as you saw before, I had 6 colors that I went through the trees in the mid-ground. I'm gonna be doing 9 with the colors in the foreground.
9! 9! Oh, happy day! The number of the day is 9!
So I got 3 shades of purple, going from like a darker purple, mid purple, an orange purple, and those are my shadows. Then I went in with the just orange, and I added in some yellow, and those are my 3 mid now to add in like this dimension. So they're gonna have a lot more contrast, and it's gonna help them like really pop from that background. You may notice something like as I'm painting, like to get my hand to stop. Yeah, I will place it on my other arm to keep it from moving when I notice it. Like I'll either sit on that hand or I'll hold my other hand while I paint, and it just kind of keeps it from doing whatever this jitsu is that I seem to be doing. I don't know if I'm summoning a demon, doing some jitsu, trying to sign I love you to Onyx. I don't know. Maybe like live long and prosper, maybe? I don't know. Anyways, it's gonna do its thing. It is what it is. Now no longer paying attention to the hand. The aspen trees, they're the main focus right now. You can just see all of these different yellows I'm adding in. It's really like adding different shapes to the bunches of leaves. So, you know, when you're looking at a tree, the twigs go in different areas. I'm trying to make sure that that's happening with the tree. There's gonna be spots in these batches of leaves that are further into the tree, some that are further out from the tree, and all this dimension is gonna be there. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just kind of helping enforce that. This is how I want the tree to look. This is how it's going to look. And I'm just bringing it forward, keeping it all cohesive, tying it in with the background. So now I'm going in with the absolute brightest yellows, my lemon yellow, my pale yellow, just kind of adding in all of this different texture. So there's probably hundreds of leaves in each tree for real, because each one has been individually painted. And you can kind of also now see like where the sun is facing. I'm going in with that final color. It is the lightest yellow, keeping everything on the left side of each of the little batches of leaves. And they're looking more like the trees in the background now. That super pale yellow is just bringing them to life. The sun is shining through their leaves. You can almost see them rustling in the slight little breeze that may be coming in off of the mountain. They look bright, they look sunny. They look like they've been here for a while. They're well established, and I'm very happy with them. Like they may just be trees, but I absolutely love the way that they came out. But that means now that the aspens are done, we can move on to this pine tree. And I'm gonna be going in the same way that I went with the other pine trees. I went in with a dark Prussian blue for the shadows, and I'm just lightening it up as I go into the brightest colors. So from that Prussian blue, I added in a little bit of turquoise. Then I added in a little bit of permanent green hue. Went in with a little bit of like the lemon yellow, just to kind of like brighten it up. adding in all of these different highlights, the midtones, the lowlights, keeping them all working together with the other colors from the background, but at the same time, it's gonna help make them distinct. There's gonna be a lot of green elements in this. You can already see with all the plants in the background, I gotta do the same thing in the foreground just to kind of help establish this forest as one cohesive unit. But I need the greens to stand out separate from each other. So that's why I go in with like different colors for the shadows, different colors for the highlights. It's going to impact the way that that green looks when you're looking at it.
Your elemental power is green.
What's that?
Green.
I added a little bit of that lemon yellow to the turquoise, made it a lighter shade, made it look like it's in the sun shining, finishing up a little bit of extra details in the water and of course on that fence. And now I'm going in with the extra plant life. This plant life is more like the ivy. I'm not going to have any flowers in it. It's just ivy kind of ground cover plants. Each forest has different versions of this. Wanted to add in my own little take. Of course, going in with the increasing the amount of shadows, increasing the amount of midtones, increasing the amount of highlights in each of the plants.
I'm rambling again.
You get to see time flying away from me as I paint. This painting took quite a while. You can see there's a lot of work going into it. Each section of this painting is really, it has definitely come to life. So now that the sun has been hidden away and no longer interfering with my painting process, because I had to stop that. Don't need that glare. So you saw the flowers that I added in the background. Now I'm kind of adding more detail to them, making them look like different plants. So the red flower plants, the white flower plants, the purple flower plants, also adding in the extra texture into the ground just to kind of like, you know, make sure I'm touching up everything. Everything needs to be like just brought up a notch, you know, make it look all good, make it look all cohesive. And now I can go in with the flowers. So like these red flowers, I was kind of feeling like snapdragons. I don't think it's snapdragons exactly, but there is a flower similar looking to snapdragons that grows around Mount Timpanogos, so I wanted to add those in. I also wanted to bring in like these little purple flowers. They kind of look like petunias is what I think they're called. Yeah, they're petunias. And I also wanted to add in like these little like white flowers or like smaller versions. Now that I got these white flowers done, I think I'm done with the plants and we can move on to the Histrobea. So of course the first Histrobea I wanted to add in was a bird or a flying Histrobea of some kind. And I decided to go with this cute little guy right here. Its name is Pecute. I think it's adorable. I love the little bow tie.
Yeah, it's cool. Bow ties are cool.
And I just wanted the pair flying up in the sky, kind of carefree, not really paying attention to what's going on around them, just together in their own little world. Now this was a little bit interesting because this game is still in development. Hoops hasn't released a lot of pictures of these different Histrobea. So I'm kind of also like figuring out how to angle them and make them look like the Histrobea Hoops intended while staying true to their design and changing their angle. It was a little bit of a challenge. I think I pulled it off though. We went in next with this Shiroja. It is a legendary in Hoops game, kind of like the legendary beasts if you're thinking about them like in the same vein. But I didn't want it looking all fierce and angry or anything like that. I wanted it to look calm, peaceful. So I kind of just had him sleeping close to the shoreline, but we got to move on. And now we're moving on to the Silver. Now Silver is another Histrobea, but it is an evolution of one of the Histrobea Hoops is released. If you want to learn more about his different Histrobea, I definitely suggest go checking out his YouTube. He's got some videos up on there. You can go check out his playlist. I will definitely post a link down in the description as well. But you can also go check out his Patreon. There is so much extra information about his Histrobea on his Patreon. You will definitely have a lot of information to absorb. There is definitely enough content on there that it will pay for itself. And you can help him with developing this game. I want to see this game come to life. I know he's been working really hard on it. I think you're gonna like it too, especially if you like Pokemon or have kids who like Pokemon or have friends who like Pokemon. They're probably gonna like this too, Histrobea Chronicles. I definitely suggest you go check that out. But now that we got the Silver done, we have to move on to his pre-evolution, the thing that's gonna evolve into Silver. And that would be Cabron right here. Now this is a very special Cabron. Not just any Cabron, it is a miracle Cabron. So if you know anything about Hoops already, you probably probably noticed, is Cabron's looking a little dark, not quite like itself. Well, that's because it's not quite like itself. His Miracle are similar to Shiny with Pokemon. They're an alternate color, but he does take it a step further. But I don't want to spoil that surprise. You're gonna have to go check out his video to see how he can take shininess or an alternate color a step further than what Pokemon has done. But it's looking super cute. I love the way it came out. So now we're gonna move on to Voltup. I have been struggling with some of the names. I am so sorry, Hoops. If I mispronounce any of them, you can definitely like reprimand me down in the comments. I am so sorry for mispronouncing them. But Voltup here, okay. So like, I thought it was kind of cute. It kind of reminds me of like a little dog in a hoodie, and I wanted to add it just because of how cute it is, but I struggled. Again, Hoops doesn't have a lot of artwork of his creatures out there, and I have to kind of like, I'm posing them in different positions, trying to imagine how things are gonna shift, and I'm not quite sure how things are gonna shift because I'm not quite sure what they are. Like, I don't know if it's its ear, is that hair, is it a hood? Does it come down? Does it not come down? So I'm kind of making it up as I go along, hoping to stay true to his creatures, but I think it's starting to look more like Voltup. I kind of like this. Yeah, I think I did a pretty good job of matching it. He's over here eating some berries. Some berries and cream, berries and cream. Berries and cream, berries and cream. Oh, little berries and cream. But now that Voltup is done, now that the Voltup is done, I can go on to Elderoos. So Elderoos is Shrubberoos' final evolution. And I thought it would be fun to kind of like complement the Silvera and Cabron as like an older Histrobea with the younger Histrobea, you know, the final evolution with the pre-evolution, this parental bond kind of thing. And I thought it sounded cute. I already had one pair, but you know, it's my painting. I can always do a second pair. So that's where this idea is coming from. Just kind of like Elderoos is going to be taking Shrubberoos like for their evening dinner. Maybe they came and got some water and now they're going back over to their herd, or they're going to go back to grazing.
We are here at Jasper National Park, and there's a raccoon. He's eating all the grass.
Yeah, you know, something like that. But this guy, oh my goodness, this guy, he gave me some trouble. I struggled because there's not a lot of artwork of him, and I didn't change up its position too much just because like I wasn't sure where some things were sitting on it, but just enough that like I had to rework some bits of Elderoos because it wasn't looking right. Like, of course, his horns, I was doing them too thin, then I did them too thick, and then I didn't round them enough, and there was just a lot with this one, and I don't need to be complaining to you all. You want to watch me create, so let's stop the complaining because like now it's starting to look really good if I do say so myself. I had to darken it up a little bit, getting all these little extra little details, and of course like the eye, and then bringing this Elderoos to life. I'm very happy with him, yes, but now it's time for the entire star of this painting. The whole reason this painting is coming to life the way that it is, Shrubberoos. So he's the final little guy I'm adding into this. I think he was ready. I was expecting this one to take me a lot longer than it did, but it just kind of came out. There is a little bit more artwork out there of Shrubberoos. So like Hoops has like beta designs out there and then like the final design out there. So like I could kind of work with that and put it into a new position and make it more expressive. And yeah, I think that definitely shows. Although I think this entire painting shows how excited I am for Hoops' game that's coming out. So let's go ahead and take a closer look. We got Pecute, the two little Pecute over there. And then we have Shiroja sleeping off in the distance, Silvera and Cabron. We got little Voltup over here eating his berries, Elderoos and Shrubberoos in the middle, the stars of this painting. I'm very happy with this, but now I think it's time for the final review.
I don't know if that's gonna work. It's done! Oh my god. This thing. Ugh, I love it to death. It just took so much time. I love how this came out. I'm very, very happy with it. Definitely captured what I was going for. There's so many small little details in it. It looks like a lush forest. I hope Hoops and Hip Hop likes it, because 78 hours. That is a long time. Although for the video, I definitely don't think it's gonna be 80 hours long. Even though I have all of the footage, definitely don't need to be like posting 80-hour-long videos on YouTube. That is a bit much. So, what's your favorite part about it? We have Kubaron, still there, Elderoos, Shrubberoos, Picute, Chiroja, Voltup. I'm gonna do my best to not forget them, Hoops. I'm making a promise to you. I guarantee it. I'm very happy with it. I hope you all like it. There's a lot of work put into this painting, and I can't wait to hang it up. It's just, it makes me happy. It gets a little tedious in the painting process, but man, afterwards, it's just, I could just stare at it for a while. Anyways, you should definitely go check out HoopsandHipHop. He is, he's a great YouTuber, constantly posting. He's got his own video game in development. He's got his own trading card game in development. He's constantly making new Fakémon, making lore for them, putting together their names. He puts a lot of work into his videos, and if you like Pokemon, I know you're gonna love HoopsandHipHop. And yeah, let me know what you think of his monsters. Let him know if he comments down below what you think of his monsters. Go check him out. If you can, his Patreon is also open. It all supports his video game. Not paid, not sponsored. Just, I want to see his video game come to life. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyways, it's been a very long day, and I still got a lot more work to do. I'm sure you got more videos to watch. So, yeah, be safe out there. Don't get lost. Don't get stolen. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye, you beautiful people.